Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Free Life Channel. Today, the first thing I want to tell you is I think I've made a big mistake. And that mistake is I think I slept too long today. I flew from Las Vegas starting yesterday morning and I landed in Germany this morning, and I talked about that briefly in my video yesterday while I was in New York. And as much as I was able to sleep on the plane, you can't get good quality sleep on an airplane. I had a couple seats next to me open, so I was able to lay down. But at the end of the day, you're still in an airplane and you're flying, and so it's different than sleeping in your bed. And so today, I got home and I dumped my suitcases on my floor, and my room is a complete mess. And I kind of laughed. I said, "Oh, I'm home for sure." Nonetheless, I got home, I settled down and took a nap, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take a 1-hour nap, wake up, go on about my day so I can be in a routine with the time cycles. Well, nonetheless, I slept until almost 8 o'clock tonight, and now I'm feeling really energized and awake, and so I think maybe I messed up my sleep schedules, but nonetheless, I will survive and I will push through this difficult time of being awake all night. So yeah, if you've been liking the content so far, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. It really helps in the YouTube algorithm. And also if you could go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because the more subscriptions, the larger of an audience that these videos can reach. So today I want to talk to you about rule number 2 of Jordan Peterson's book, The 12 Rules for Life. And in yesterday's video, I was sitting in New York, and I kind of talked about the idea of sitting straight up and pulling your shoulders back. Well, that actually comes from Jordan Peterson's book, Rule Number 1, in which having a better posture is a very simple step that we can take to gain confidence. We don't hunch over and we don't feel like we have to be protected from the back, or we're not afraid. And so when you stand up like this, you present yourself to be more confident. And that can change your psychological nature, and can actually change the chemical makeup inside of your brain that actually triggers serotonin release to make you happier and more confident. And so today I want to talk to you about rule number 2. And before we begin, real quick, I do want to say that I was able to finish the book by Matthew McConaughey, Green Lights, while I was on the plane, and it is a fantastic book. Absolutely amazing. Matthew McConaughey is an excellent actor, and through this book you really learn that he was just living for himself. And he talks about the idea that being selfish it's okay from time to time, if not all the time. But because when you're selfish and you're doing what's best for yourself, you have more energy and more care for others because you've taken care of yourself and you're coming from a good place. And this is something that I really held on to, because that's something I lack in my life, I believe. And so transitioning into Jordan Peterson's rule number 2 is take care of yourself the way that you would take care of somebody else that you were responsible for taking care of. So this goes on to the idea, he asks us to think about, do you think that people are always acting out of their own self-interest? Do you think that people are selfish, or maybe out to get you, or to manipulate you, or take advantage of you? That's something that I feel. I always felt used in my other relationships, and I understand why I felt that way, because I was missing something inside of myself, and so I felt like I was giving and giving and giving, and these women were not giving me what I needed, right? But it's not their responsibility to give me what I need. It's my responsibility to give myself what I need. And through this, I've understood a lot, and that's where I am today. I'm taking notes about all these books. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to become a better man. And so Jordan Peterson, he asked us to think about this, is do we really believe that people are only ever acting out of their own self-interest? Well, Jordan, he believes that they're not, and it's a quite cynical thought to think like that, because most people don't take care of themselves. I used to think, oh, I would sacrifice myself for a lot of other people, my friends, my family, my girlfriends, and I always felt depleted of energy. And that's because I wasn't taking care of myself. So who's to say that I was acting in my own self-interest when I was depressed or anxious or nervous or lacking confidence and happiness? It's because I gave all of myself away and I didn't take care of myself. And so as we go on through today's video, I encourage you to think about this, that people really struggle with taking care of themselves and really struggle with doing with what is best for them. And so if anything, I think this chapter of the book was talking about the idea that we need to start acting more out of our own self-interest and taking care of ourselves. And so he goes on to talk about this idea between order and chaos. So order is the structure. It's the known information in this life. We wake up every morning, we go to work, or we wake up, we have our coffee, and then we go to work. Whatever your routine is, it's order. It's what gives you certainty in this world. However, on the contrary, there's chaos. And chaos is the unknown and the chaotic nature of the world and the things that really can cause us anxiety and fear because we don't know. It's the uncertainty in life. And so to handle both of these different aspects, we have to have a foundation within ourselves so that we can have our order, but we're not preparing for chaos, but in case chaos strikes, we're able to stand firm and stand strong and it doesn't destroy our worlds. And so for me, my order was always having a girlfriend, always being in a relationship because it filled this gap of something missing inside of myself. But when those relationships ended, it was chaos and I didn't have a foundation inside of myself to take care of myself and I lost myself. And so again, these are where these videos come into play because this is me reminding myself to do what it is I'm trying to convince other people to do. Now, I'm not perfect. Jordan Peterson, he says, all of us, every single human being, even the most wealthiest of people, are intrinsically flawed. We all have our issues with ourselves. We all have our issues that other people think about us, but it's how much power we give those flaws. We can accept them and try to change them if it causes destruction or a bad quality of life, but sometimes you just have to accept them. So for me, for example, I know that I have issues with self-confidence, okay? That's a flaw of mine. Now, that's not to say that I need to get up and just go be the most confident, cocky person I can be, but there are things that I should work on to feel more self-confident. I need to be more confident for myself, not for what the other people in the world think of me. And when I start to believe in myself more and love myself more and respect myself more, I truly believe that the rest of the world, the outside world, will begin to treat me differently. Not as if I'm better or something, but because I think I'll be acting out of a place of certainty, out of foundation, that I'll be prepared for when chaos strikes. And so I want to talk about this idea that we have the ability to perceive order in the midst of chaos. So this is something I struggled with. When my world would come tumbling down, I would lose myself and freak out and go berserk. But I've realized that through these readings that it's not about what happens to you, but it's about how you respond to the situation. And so now I feel like I'm starting to make a small transition. And I think about some of my ex-girlfriends and some of these childish behaviors that I have and some of these negative emotions. And I start to say, oh, if only I could have changed that. Now, that's not to say that I'm living in the past out of regret, but I'm saying I see where I was and I see where I want to go. And so in this moment right now, I have the power to change my genetic makeup and become this man that I would like to be, that I see myself being in the future. And so I think that I was trying so hard to hold on to the things that I knew, how to be in a relationship, how to love somebody else, that I forgot to do those things for myself. And holding on to order and trying to control every aspect of life, it almost causes more stress than the potential effects of a chaotic situation happening. We don't know what the what would happen in a chaotic world. We don't know. That's why it's called uncertainty or the unknown. We don't know. It's all fears. It's projections of what we think could happen. But in trying so hard to control things to prevent the unknown from happening, whereas the unknown could be a gift. It could be the best thing that ever happened to you. And so going to Matthew McConaughey's book, he talks about the idea of red lights, green lights, and yellow lights. Green lights are go right ahead. This is a good event. Go on with your life. Red lights, they stop you in your place and they teach you something. But eventually all red lights turn to green lights. And then I actually found this funny. This is a quote by him. The yellow lights, it means proceed with caution. But at the end of the day, proceed. So yellow lights mean to slow down, take a deeper look at something, and then make your decision. And so that's something that I'm really trying to hold on to. And I found a meaning in my life making these videos and talking to myself and talking to a potential audience. And that is where meaning is. Meaning is found in the attempt to master something new. And that's what Jordan Peterson talks about, that chaos can be a good thing because it gives us an opportunity to master something new and to learn something new. And so wrapping up here, I just want to talk about the way that Jordan Peterson ends the chapter of Rule 2, in which he says, it isn't always about doing what you want. Taking care of yourself isn't about doing what you want. It's about doing what is right for you. Maybe you're a parent and you don't want to be a parent. You would rather go to the bar. Well, taking care of yourself might not be going out and neglecting your children at home or your husband or your wife or whomever. Okay? So doing what you want isn't always the best method for taking care of yourself. But to take care of yourself is to have self-purpose and meaning. And so he encourages us to take some moments, time, quality time, and define ourselves and to refine our personality. If you're not happy with who you are, do something about it. Change something. Don't keep doing the same things over and over and expecting the same result or different results, That is the definition of insanity. I'm sure we've all heard this before. And so he also tells us to choose a destination. And if you remember Matthew McConaughey saying, sometimes it's not about which decision you make, but it's about simply making a decision and then doing it, being decisive and taking action. And the last thing I want to say is that Jordan Peterson in the end of the chapter, he says, he who has a why in his life, or she, doesn't matter, he or she, he who has a why in life can almost endure any how. So no matter how chaotic the world gets or out of control you may become or feel, if you have a purpose and you define what it is you're looking for and what you want out of this life, you will endure and you will move closer to success, because chaos is just the absence of order. It doesn't mean that order is gone forever. You just have been going this way and then you're going this way, and now you got to get back onto path. And so that's all I have for you guys today. I appreciate another viewing of the episode, and go ahead and hit that thumbs up and take care, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow.